Hello, everybody. Hope we're doing well. Adam Steele of Hotpole Studios here, and as you can see, this much wider camera angle than usual is revealing some of the mess in my tiny little office. As I wanted to make sure you could see what was going on with the star of tonight's show, which is my glass of wine. No, it's actually my bass and bass tone, which I'll be going through and having a grand old time. So, first things first, let's plug it in and hear the thing. I'm using this bass tonight, which I will talk about in depth as we go. So, let's get this plugged in. Oh, it helps when you turn all your equipment on. Duh. I've been so preoccupied last hour or so, I've not even turned anything on. This is a delicate procedure. There we go. I'm far too close to the wine. There we go. Everything's on. Let's just see if everything makes noise when I do that. Levels seem a little off. So that one seems a lot louder. Let's have a listen to this. What have I changed? I don't think anything's changed, it's just louder. Yeah, so that sounds pretty big. I think I need to turn up my headphones. Unusual, but there you go. Yes. Yesterday, was it yesterday? I was doing the Mishvald mixing on Monday, 2 days ago. And of course, when that's hitting the limit, super new sounding strings. Funnily enough, these are all I touched mute. Okay. Yeah, that's something to get used to, because my previous microphones, none of them have had a mute switch on. Okay, worth knowing. But yes, Devon Townsend t-shirt. I am quite a Devon fan. And yeah, my partner got me one of these. There we go. So yes, these strings are not new. These are relatively old strings. But they are bright. Where's the other? I had a pack of strings. I've not. Where have I put them now? This is going to really irritate me. I need them. Oh, they've fallen down the back. Okay. Okay. I left off at, funnily enough. Well, that doesn't say much, but yeah. These strings are actually, especially the low B, quite dead. So I'm going to be putting Diodario Pro Steels on. I have a 5-string set here, but super light. Because what I like to do, especially with this particular bass, is I'm down tuned to B flat on a 4-string. And yes, I've filed out the nut slot and everything. I just find that it's a really aggressive sounding bass, this one. This is an Ibanez ATK, which is like the cheap range, but it has this massive sound. But yeah, so the E string, this is how the E string sounds, which is relatively new. But the B string, really dead. Has got no dengle on it, as Christian Kohler would put it. Yeah, so yeah, I turned the mic around so I could touch the buttons better, and it did work. So yeah, I'm going to be putting the bottom 4 strings of a Pro Steels set on before we actually do any proper recording, which is part of... Oh, that's better. Part of the aim of tonight's stream is, firstly, I'm going to show you how I got this absolutely brutal tone. Everything's still warming up. And... yeah, the one thing that I feel like Am I missing? No, there is a little bit of room reverb on there. I've got a Slate VSX running. Let's show you. There we go. So you can see my Reaper project now. And I will show you. This is mostly in hardware. This is mostly pedals. So let me get the old camera out, because this is actually three different channels all at once. But then there's lots of extra processing which does little fairy dust things. So not camera, I want the OBS camera. Need it not to be locked. There we go. So if I turn this on, there we go. So my setup. So I'm going from the bass, which actually I should probably show you the controls on the bass. It's an active bass, and I've got the bass on the bass middle treble exactly in the middle, so it's not cutting but it's not boosting. The mids on this bass are really quite scooped out because it doesn't sound particularly nice on full middle for metal anyway. And then the treble is boosted somewhat but not all the way, and that might go down a bit. And there's a little toggle switch here for the pickup. Apologies for the mess on the bass. That's me hitting it so hard this week while I've been getting tones. So that it's got a triple coil pickup in this bass, and I think the middle is all of them on, which has just a really good sound. So I'm going to show you the setup now. So firstly, I'm going into a TC Electronics hypergravity compressor. And that's before anything else. Originally, I went straight into this DI box, then out. But I found that because this hypergravity, which is a multi-band compressor that I've programmed, has a very, very slight delay on, and I'm talking like 5 samples or something stupid, but it's there because it's a digital pedal. It was adding a really weird chorusing effect to everything else when blended together. So I switched everything around, and that's now what I go into, and that now affects the DI tone as well as everything else. So what I'm going to do is turn this off and turn off the heavy stuff. So what you should hear now, I've got retune, which does exactly what it says. It's just a tuner. So I'm just going to check that slightly out. Yeah, so this is kind of B-E-A-D, except half a tone down. So it's A sharp, D sharp, G sharp, C sharp. Or all the tones we were talking about before, but flat. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm hoping that if I write something brutal enough, I'll be able to do something with John Brown from Monuments. No promises, but he tunes his 7-string down to B flat. And I know what he's like. He wouldn't change just for me, so I wouldn't have him any other way. He's a good man. But yeah, so this is the DI tone. If I play with a pick and play quite aggressively, we'll get... You did see a metal zone pedal, but we'll get to that. One thing at a time, patience. So, after the DI, which is good, clean, modern sounding, we then go to this re-EQ, which has a slight bass bump, but mostly is scooping out all the mids. You can see a big filter here, which I decided not to use in the end because the filter takes out all the life. But what I did decide is I'm massively scooping the mids out of this particular channel, because that means that there's then room in the mids for the other channels. So this is how it sounds with that. And the reason that I've got a massive mid scoop, it's still, you can hear a little bit of the ding, ding, ding in the top, which means that when the other two channels have got all their aggression going, there's still a little bit of that ding, ding, ding coming through on top. Something that I learned from Justin Chancellor from Tool's bass setup is he's got 3 channels going. So I thought I'd do that. And then last but not least on here, yeah, so the bass is quite quiet, and that's the next part. So the next part is this. This is what's bringing it all back. This is Waves L2. I know a lot of people use L1. I like L2 more. I find it's a lot clearer. And L2 suddenly brings the volume back up to this. Yeah, so I'm not surprised you couldn't hear the bass at that point, but that's what L2 will now do. But it's a really, really aggressive limiter. So if I'm playing lighter than I should, then I still get some limiting. If I kill it, it just holds it down. And because most of this signal is low end, it really holds that low end down. So that's a super scooped bass tone, which on its own will kind of disappear in a mix apart from the low end. But that's fine, because after that DI box, we then go on, and I'll bring the camera back. So we go from the DI box, we skip all this, and we go over to the 2 notes La bass. I'm going to put my fingers on the lights here because they're bright. So I'm running this basically for all the mids, and it's mostly the distorted channel here, which isn't super distorted, but really has like an SVT character, and then there's a clean channel, which I've also got the gain fairly high, but it's not driven per se, it's just not super clean. And so I'll turn that on for you to hear instead. So this came in like so. There's a gate which I'll have to turn off. So yeah, the clean channel on the bass does this. So not much. I'll turn it up. The distorted channel does this. But together in the cold fusion mode, they just do a little bit more thickness. And that on top has a torpedo wall of sound. I was thinking about using a cab M, but firstly, that wouldn't fit on the board. And secondly, it's actually over at John Brown's studio. So, oops. For now, this is in software, just while I was playing around with it. So that's now one of my cabinets, the Brit Fridge T, so the one with the tweeter in it, with the Sennheiser 421, which is a relatively flat mic. Relatively. So that's taking a lot of the top end off. So it's really gutsy mid-range sound. The low end on both of the channels of the La bass is turned down quite a bit. So that mixed in with the original DI gives us this. which is a big bass sound. But for metal, at least, it's missing something, and that's where this channel comes in. This is, like someone said before, the metal zone. So a Boss metal zone on its own is pretty horrible, but you can blend it, and as a blend, it's really useful. I tried a few distortion pedals, and this was the one that just sat perfectly. So you don't need that much drive, because with an active bass, it's already being driven pretty hard. And as you can see, I've got a bit of a high-end push on here and a bit of a low-mid scoop, but not much. Because as Simon from Biffy Clyro says about the metal zone, every millimeter on the dial counts, and it really counts. So I'm going to have to take photos of this so I can match this. Actually, I'm making a video of it right now, so that's okay. I can always refer back to the video. And the metal zone on its own will sound absolutely horrible, but that's fine. It sounds like this. And it's not very loud either. I might turn that up a little, actually, the output. So yeah, that is aggressive as you like. And so when I combine the three channels together, oh, that's also got a gate on it, because otherwise the slightest tap and it's all over the show. So it's just gated, just so that the really aggressive scratchy doesn't get through. And so the three together, and if I take the metal zone away, and back in, so yeah, it's all about the combination of the elements. Now, I did have a copy of Micro Shift here. Oh, I'll turn off K-Clip, actually. So yeah, so Micro Shift is an Andy Wallace trick. I do love Andy Wallace. And this, I'll just saw the bass for a minute, is doing a kind of a almost chorusing thing. And that's not going to be appropriate on every mix. And it's definitely not appropriate generally in parts where you can clearly hear the bass. But what it can do in a thick mix is it can suddenly make it sit. It can, this is a trick that he uses, Andy Wallace, on all sorts of tracks. Linkin Park, Nirvana, all sorts of stuff. It just does a very clever thing where it makes the bass kind of fill that stereo space a bit more when there are raging guitars going. Oh, so I need to change the text there. Live. Crushing bass tones. There we go. Now, the next step here, I'll close these windows down because this is getting a bit busy, is, there we go. They're all little things that just add up. So then I've got a copy of Regate on the bass overall, but that's taking its cue. If you see this little send here from the clean DI, if I click on that, it's going pre-effect. So before L2, before the EQ, before anything, the clean bass tone straight from the DI is going into the side chain of this gate. So I can let go of the bass and tap it, and there's quite a while there before any sound, I'll just bring that up a bit, any sound comes through at all, which is a really good thing for helping clean up the mix a bit and helping me concentrate. But that means I can just grab the pick and just go. So yeah, that fizzle fry channel from the metal zone is really adding a mean aggression. It's very Meshuggah-esque. But yeah, I mean, if I want more grr from that, I could probably add more mids. There's a scoop on it, but if I take that back to neutral, let's try that. Oh, the other little thing that I noticed is the La bass, being a valve-based thing. Hello, Ivy. Is it inverts the phase, which is a big pain in the backside. But I've got a phase invert button, which is just underneath Desert Bus up there, which helps me to invert the phase. Hello. So yeah, that is my bass tone, and so I'm planning on. I'm going to restring now, but I'm also going to tell you all about the sound that I've been getting with Superior Drummer 3, because this thing is nuts. I've got it. She's in here. There we go. I've got the Death and Darkness set up with nearly 7. Oh, you can't quite see it there, but 7 gigabytes of drum samples in the memory, which is absolutely insane. But because I like to use all the bleed on the microphones to make things sound bigger, that's the price I pay. So yeah, this thing sounds huge. So if I just play the drum group.
Down. Get away from my computer.
All right. Oop, there you go. So it's got a big boomf on the kick, but a massive snap on that snare. That snare is the snare. If I could own any snare in the world, it's the Tama Bell Brass. Actually, it's not the 80s one. That's interesting. I think I prefer the slightly more modern one, but yeah, Tama Bell Brass snare. They're like 5mm thick. So what's that? It's more than a 1/4 inch thick brass. So these things weigh an absolute ton. But yeah. It's worth mentioning actually. Desert Bus that's going on right now. My partner Mickey has made a thing for donation that is some Animal Crossing pendants that may be mentioned at some point. They're on silent auction for the next 6 hours, and I've currently hit a target of $1,000, the highest bidder. So well done to her and well done to the team. We're very proud of them because that's a massive thing, and it all goes to Child's Play charity to help out kids that are in hospitals. So yeah, very cool indeed. Oh, wow, yeah, you can see how the levels on the La bass and the drive when I touch the bass are way higher than the actual DI because the distortion and drive in them is pushing that level up. But still, no sound. Just going to tilt the camera down just a touch so you can see the bass at all times. Yeah, I'm just going to take off the metronome's not on, and I'm going to record a little section here of this without the new strings, and then I'm going to grab my pliers and restring this bad boy. So, I've always found that B strings, low B strings, are the first to go in terms of brightness. So that's the next thing I'm going to do is hit stop on the record, obviously, and lay this out across my lap for restringing. So while I do that, I'll switch over to here. if anybody has any questions, now's a very good time. Let's do this so you can see what's going on in my oh, you don't want to see what's on that table, it's a right mess. But yeah, you'll be able to see me restring and do what roadies do, which is something that freaks people out at first, which is just cut strings from the middle and just yeet them into the sun. It's quicker and cleaner because then I'm not taking twisted ends of strings through the bridge and scraping the bridge and scouring the bridge out, which is particularly important on an instrument like this, which has a through strung body. There we go. There's 4 half strings, very cleanly taken out. I'll fold them and put them in the trash. I say in the trash, they'll probably get recycled because I kind of build them all up for a while and then find somewhere that recycles metal. There we go. And the first person to make a recycled metal joke there wins a prize. I say prize, I mean like, oh, you're funny, that's the prize. Gonna sneeze though. Excuse me. There we go. Yeah, this bass actually, this Ibanez ATK series, I got this as a backup bass a while back. When I was doing regular shows, I was taking my number 1 bass, which is the one behind me, which is the jazz bass. Excuse me. To everything. And I'm going to take these headphones off. I don't need them for the minute. They're just making me sweat. And so I was always worried because I not only played quite aggressively, but with a lot of showmanship, I would like really throw the bass round, which, you know, like I said, showmanship. I was always worried that I would break a string in the middle of a show. And I'm not the sort of person to stop the show to restring. So I found that this bass was on offer. A friend of mine knew of a second-hand shop, and I got this for 90 quid. Hello, Chris. You recycle enough metal, you get jazz. Right, so I've got my Diodario Pro Steels going on. Chris, you'll appreciate this. I'm going to make an absolute monster of a bass tone. So I start with the gold. Yeah, gold is my E string. So in that case, that's actually the second string because metal. I'll just unplug it. It's on a Neutrik silent switch cable, so we don't have to worry about kadunk. Yeah, absolutely get yourself a cheap bass. But yeah, I paid £90 for this thing. And actually, for what I'm doing right now, it's the most appropriate bass that I have for this beastie tone. Yeah, if I end up doing this regularly, I might get loads of strings from Toman again, because you can get their sets of bass strings super cheap. And that means that I could just restring every time. Because as you'll see from me doing this, it doesn't actually take long at all if you've done it many times. There's 3. And they wrap these in a pair when I don't need one. Thanks, Diodario. So let's just wind up that one. And string this one through. That's the ball end, you idiot. You're a ball end. Oh, yes. Brutal bass tone in standard. Oh, I'm sure I could accomplish that. But yeah, so at the head end, which you can't see 'cause it's off camera, no matter what I do, I take 2 inches tops at the end of the string. And because this is the kind of machine head that... Oh, there we go. That has one of those holes in the top, I can do that, and that's not an unreasonable thing. There we go. And I also personally don't really like string winders because if you've cut your string to the exact right length, you shouldn't need a string winder. If you need a string winder, you've left too much string on the end. I've already actually used a little too much there. We're just over a turn. Perfect. There we go. You can definitely hear the ding on that. No need for bass to go too high. That's guitar land. Oh, now I disagree there. As someone who has, on the channel, played 6 and 7 string basses on a fairly regular basis, not bassist. It's a different thing entirely. Especially if guitarists are doing heavy distortion stuff. I can start throwing in harmonics and high lines that are quite clean, which tonally fit entirely within what they're doing. You've just got to be creative about it. There we go. Come on. I snipped a little extra on this one. But we are coming into land now. Okay. Come on. Come on. Like guitars going solo into the bass land. Yeah, it's a tonal thing. I have no problem with like guitarists with 8-string guitars, for instance, because even though you can say, oh, well, that goes into bass territory. Well, its fundamental goes into bass territory, but its tonal profile doesn't really take up that space at all. It doesn't matter what the range of an instrument is. It's the tonal profile that's far more important. If you got a 9-string guitar that goes to a low E, which is exactly the same as, you know, the bottom string of a bass. You play me that on that 9-string through distortion, then you play me a bass through a bass rig. They sound completely different and can quite happily coexist. And it's all to do with relationships between the fundamentals and the harmonics. Generally speaking, a bass has much more fundamental and around the fundamental in the lower harmonics, and much less going on in the kind of the mid area, where a guitar is generally a very mid-focused instrument. And yet you can play in exactly the same octave and it doesn't have to compete if your tones are right. So yeah, in my humble opinion, there's no such thing as guitars going into bass territory and bass going into guitar territory. It's what you do with it that counts. And if you really are in a band that's having a problem with that, then you've not set your tones right and you're not being sympathetic to your other band members. And it's nothing to do with what note you're playing. It's usually a tonal choice, a creative choice, a rhythmic choice. I mean, like, for me, Meshuggah is a perfect example. It's very rare that their bass player will be down in the same octave as the guitars. However, because what they do complements each other, it sounds like an absolutely massive wall of noise. It's very possible to do it wrong, but that's very much a feel thing. So let's really stretch the life out of these things. Then, and if that looks like too much, don't worry. These are Diodario Pro Steels. They're stainless steel and can take quite a lot of torsion and tension like that. So let's bring the camera back up so you can see a bit more of my face. Hello, everybody. And go back to the scene where I'm going to pick up Retune, plug in my cable, and see what a sonic difference this has made once we're tuned. Ooh, almost there. Just pull these really hard one more time. A sharp, D sharp, G sharp, C sharp. There we go. Yes. So Oh, thank you very much. Now, here's the tonal difference. And let's record a little bit of this while it's absolutely new. Here we go. So, full volume, here we go. Yeah, that sounds way better. If I pretend to be in periphery for a second, I can go. And so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to put my headphones back on again. There is a little bit of extra something else that I haven't shown you here, and I'll just play back a little bit of this and a little bit of the old strings. And the old strings. Especially the B. That's the B string, and this. There we go. So arguably the top three strings weren't actually that dead, but the B string had to go. I'd been playing on it for several weeks, so it's fine. A lovely Bordeaux I'm drinking. So, oh, blah, 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 something. That and my superior drummer means I'm ready to try and write something. So this could be a real challenge. And yes, the reason you can't see the top of my head is because the camera doesn't go wide enough for that. Although hopefully, I mean, it's a little bit far away from the wall as well from where I usually have it. There's a new camera coming that's going to go there. A cheaper camera, actually. I'm currently using a Lumix GH5S up there, which is a very expensive camera to be having as a webcam. So I'm replacing it with a Lumix GX80, which looks just as good. But it doesn't have some of the features that you would want out in the field, which is what I'm going to be doing with my GH5 more. So let's have a think. This is where writing comes in. So I've hit time signature marker, and I've had 7/4 in my head all day. So let's try this with a. I think I need a click source so you can hear it, because otherwise you're not going to hear my click, and that's going to be really weird for you. But yeah, the last thing that I didn't show you is the Shadow Hills mastering compressor, which is on the overall bass group, and isn't doing a lot, but. You can see it's just on the VU meters taking a decibel off. And it's just a general overall final leveler. So that you don't get any spikes, no matter how aggressively I'm playing. So if I suddenly go to slap, we get... Yes. Yes. I mean, that's a bit too fast for this tuning. It's hard to get any clarity out of it. If I was to play that kind of thing in E... That's much more like it. But yeah, when you're playing down in this lower tuning, yeah, I mean, it's a nice overall tone. If I use my fingers, I should get... That's a really aggressive finger tone as well. But I'm finding that for the music I'm writing, for this particular thing I have in mind, the pick is doing the right thing. And the reason that it sounds good between slap and fingerstyle and pick is because I've got these 3 different tones running. Because the overall low sound is held down, so it's just constant smooth low end. Then I've got the la bass going in the middle, which is holding down the mids. That gate again. And then the metal zone, again, just no dynamics on that. That's just holding the fizz in the mids. But yeah, I didn't put any compressor on the la bass specifically because that does still have some dynamics. And that means that we hear and feel some dynamic out of the bass, but the low end is solid. The top end is pretty much solid because of that drive from the metal zone. And there is that Shadow Hills mastering compressor there, which, like you saw on the meters, is not doing much. So it's not compressing hard unless it's suddenly needed. But that... is really aggressive and doesn't have a single trace of dark glass in there. Not that dark glass is bad, but I've been tone chasing my own sound that isn't what everybody else uses. And yeah, it may be that I need to turn up the metal zone once we get some heavy guitars in there, but having all 3 channels separately gives me that choice. So what I'm going to do now is insert some drum MIDI as a loop. And so, where's kick? C2, boof. So, so let me just think this out. So I'm in the wrong mode. I should be in view diamonds. I'll put this down. I try and program things out like a human would play them. As close as possible. So just gonna these need to be a lot faster. These need to be half time, so it's ta 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 ta, and that should be the ta 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 ta. We're in the wrong tempo for what I was thinking, but that's fine. That, but, da. Did I have to program the hypergravity through USB? Yes, I did. But, I think that's right. So the feet should probably be a lot more powerful than that. That should be a lot more powerful as well, because it's a simple pattern. Yeah, so the hypergravity was actually really easy to edit. I did have to get the tone print program, but it's got 3 bands of compression in there. None of them are doing particularly a lot. I didn't want heavy compression before the DI, but it's just, again, a control thing. And because it's separate lows, mids, and highs, it's not crushing any particular band. My philosophy is always kind of multiple stages of gentle compression wherever possible. Or in the case of things like vocals, multiple stages of heavy compression, but still multiple stages that none of which kills the overall vibe and kills the tone. Okay, so that can definitely be a Hello? No, that should be full, I said. Go da, ba. So one of the good things about Reaper now is I've got a drum loop. I just grab the end and just pull, and it'll just loop over and over and over and over. I think that sounds great. The kick doesn't sound unrealistic because, I mean, I don't mind some tracks where the kick goes boom, boom, but I don't think I want that. I do want a kick that has some realism. I mean, that's a 22x16. That's almost my perfect recording. Yeah, so I like 22-inch kicks, and I like them to be short because they do a buff thing rather than a bong bong. And so it's between the Pearl Masters and the Yamaha Recording Custom. And actually, I've got an envelope you can just see tucked away behind my face there, which is stopping the kick from going bong, bong. And it might sound a little more fake at first, but what I would do in the real world is I would have quite heavy dampening in the kick. And then I would have what you call a drum tunnel, where I would put a couple of chairs up with a big quilt and stop the kick from being in the room too much. And so it is quite isolated from the rest of the kit. But not completely isolated. You would still hear it if you crushed the drum mics. So when you crush the overheads. There we go. So I've got loads of drum to be going out. That snare is spot on. And that string sight Black Dust, not a brand I've heard of, but that whole ride is just perfect metal for me. It's got that, you know the song. If you're into metal anyway, you know that one. And so this whole thing has a bit of a Deftones-ish feel so far, but I want to take that White Pony Deftones thing and really aggressive it up. I think the tempo might be a bit slow for what I'm thinking. Oh, no. Didn't want 14, I wanted 140. Let's try that. I might want a digga 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 da. So I'm gonna put left foot articulations in here that aren't quite as loud because the left foot's never quite that strong. Okay, well, I appreciate that you like my face. I mean, I've got a Discord if you want to join the fan club. But as soon as the drums are programmed, all attention is going to be on this fretboard, and the lens isn't wide enough for both. So fretboard wins today. Ah, that could be interesting. So I'm starting sliding up on the 7th. And I'm actually in E flat, but dropping down to the B flat. So let's try that. With a... Does that work? I mean, it was a bit sloppy, so it's I'd have to re-record it, but... I think digga so I can take out 2 of the feet. Boom. So that needs to be a cheeky triplet. So that should be a... Yeah, so this is still just writing right now. Welcome to the party, Marty. So yeah, I think we're getting somewhere with this. And I might throw a couple of guitars down, but the aim of this, and again, no promises, everybody, but the aim is if I can make something that's basically a full-fledged track and submit it to John Brown, he might play something over it. So I have to keep that in mind. I don't want to saturate it with guitars. I might add an instrument from Arturia or 2, kind of a pad thing, but the weird thing tonight is I'm going to write, but not actually do a full-fledged song. That's the intention, so... Let's see if those last 2 are any good. So that's an idea I want to chase, but I actually have to play it tight because I rush. Right, so I'll just drag this out so it goes on forever. Right. So I've got an idea, but I need to slow down a little bit. Or not slow down, just back my pacing off. Take my wallet out of my pocket. This is not helping. But yeah, there we go. So that, oh, there we go. Yeah, so I need to push back. That's the tricky bit. Hello, Trouble. Away from those strings.
Come on, find the bed.
It's an intruder. She's moving my strap, my things. I should probably be wearing that strap, actually. Help with support. Yeah, wallet full of mad stacks of YouTube monies, I wish. You alright? Well, let's start with that, because that's definitely a riff. And again, slow it down. Let's listen back to that. Ooh. Right, I think that might just be because of the delay on all the plugins. I've just rushed the whole thing a bit. If I push it back, let's see if it fits. Not quite tight enough, but we're getting there. I need to do things like not rush the let that ring, but not like, because that could be a different song. I need to make sure I'm not coming off that octave too quickly, because it sounds a bit mashed if I do. But I might go up, actually. In the right key. And again. Ow. Not quite getting it tight enough with the pick and it hurts. Need the pick for that detail on the bottom though. Would work as a second section. I'm going to get rid of the strap. It's just getting in the way. Ugh. Right. Oh, no, wrong button. Three, 4, 5, 6. Nah. Stretch it out. Convenient riff for Dadgad. Well, yeah, that's the thing. This is in drop B flat. No, it's in B flat standard. Speaking of which, I should check my tuning. If I turn off the metal zone, I get... I do need a bit less metal zone. See, the metal zone's at -18. Up a little. Bit more. It doesn't need much metal zone, it just needs something. Yeah, that's tight. Yeah, let's get back to this. Right, so that's for later on. 3 and a... One, two, three. Heavier, come on. That might be it. Tried to get fancy at the end, but... just take snap off. Put them on the grid. I think that's it. I think we got him. Think I'll just nudge everything from there back a tiny twitch because I have this terrible habit of launching in. And that's just a tiny bit early. I mean, I could edit all day long, but I'd rather stay as close as possible. Yeah, that's our boy. So I'm going to call this 7 riff 1. Okay. And this is where I go for 7 riff 2, which was the one further down in the B flat. Yeah, I'm just going to go simple with this because it's so low. Yeah, let's try it with that. And again. Nope. 5, 6, 7. That could be it. Back, ye demon, back. Even the slide grind at the end there. Nice. So that was a lot quicker than the first one. And what I'm going to do is something that I've seen Mr. Brown doing, which is just chop everything to the grid, even if it's got a slide or something before it, arrange it all together, and then you can always just use the starts and ends. That way you can slide them into each other with a bit of a shuffle. But this is the songwriting section. Right, so we are going for ta 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 as our 8 time. So if I add a new time signature of 6, that's a perfect time for me to run to the bathroom. Back in a second. There we go. I said I'd be back in a minute. I am back. The deed is done. And my headphones are here. All right. Okay. Let's just see with the performance meter what's causing all manner of delay. The drums are not sending to the same things. Okay, that's not too bad. I have to be careful, but I'm imagining at the end of one of these there's a little 6/4 thing before it goes into something big. So I need to insert on my drum MIDI a new item. 1 2 3 1 2 ba da da. So da 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 taka 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 taka. Taka taka. Oh no, what are you doing? Oh, where are you going? There, taka taka taka. Yeah, there we go. So that's like a little skip from one thing to another. So that's the whole section's in E flat, so I need to go B. I've only got 6 beats to go from to that. That little... It's very Geddy Lee. What's with all the emails at this time? Stephen's Light Drums update available. Yay! I don't need it though. But thanks. But let's just keep this going a while. Nearly out already. Come on, fingers. Might have just got it on the last one. Oh. Yep, and like I said, I don't know whether it's the recording system or what, but I'm always early. That's what she said. Alright, so I've got my 6 what do you call it? Fill. Bye bye. Right, so I'm gonna go with 7 riff 1 and I'm gonna split everything. I'm gonna delete all this crap. There is a bit of a Geddy Lee thing going on there. Let's just see what happens if I drop this. There's a definite Geddy Lee thing going on there. Just add me a 6. 6! Add me a 7. 7! What's that supposed to be? And just replace that. Because that was a non-note, whatever the flipping heck I did there. That needs to go in from a different take. And turn off snap for a second while we line everything up. Yeah, that's very Geddy Lee. I love it. Ah, fresh pizza from across the street. I am a little jealous, gotta say. But then I have already eaten, so I'm good. There is a lot of Geddy in this tone, actually. Maybe Geddy didn't even realise just how much he got that tone early on. Cannot overwrite file. That's a Dropbox issue, not a Reaper issue, but... I am going to leave a... 2 bars of 4 here. Tick, 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 tick. Because that's where I'm thinking there could be either a gentle... like a gentle swell, or just like silence with a rhythmical vocal. So that's a gap. Then chorus. Okay. Yeah, if you're going to sound like a famous bass player, it may as well be the best one. I like that thinking. Now let's just... Right, so this is going to be awkward as anything. 8 plus 7, what's that? 15. So I've got an idea for kind of a bouncing big chorus that kind of goes ba da ba da da ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da da. So, or at least most of it does. Insert new MIDI item. So it's got that bummed da bummed dat dat bummed dat bummed da bum bum. There we go. And that's on 16. So if I just... Oh, no. Let's draw a lot of ta-ta-ta. So I should be on 8s if I want to do that, and on hi-hat open. Oh, hello, Poo Ninja. I think quarter notes are probably what I want here. But I want these actually to be on a crash. So I need this to be back on 16 because now I want ghost notes. Yeah, the ghost notes in this are really nice, and because I've got like lots of things like little bits of compression on the snare channel and on the overheads and everything, like I've got a transient designer and a pretty crushing compressor on the snare. Let's try that. Nope. Didabum, didabum. Didum, didap, gedapa. Yeah. Yeah, that's getting somewhere in terms of bop. What key is this on? 57. So I only need to go a little further up with this lot because I want the crashes to be on the right hand, I think. We can humanize them a little bit, and velocities to make sure they're all over the show a little bit. The ambient mics are oh, that's not what I wanted to do. The ambient mics are what's the word? Panned in the same way as the other mics are, and I actually want to flip the pan, which sounds weird, but now those cymbals are going to come out left. And the main cymbals are going to come out the right, which means suddenly it's going to sound full. They occupy very different tonal spaces, as it were, and suddenly you'll find it's an age-old trick. If you've got overheads and ambient mics, flip the pan of one of the pairs, especially if they sound very different from each other, and it just means that whenever you get a sharp sound on one side, you get a thick sound on the other. It's not something that the purists approve of, but I've heard it over and over again. The other little secret weapon that I forgot to mention earlier was this. That's my room reverb on the bass. It just helps it sound just that bit more 3D. It's a very subtle trick, and people always say, oh, don't use reverb on bass. Those people are afraid. Don't be afraid. Fear is the mind killer and all that. So I've got this lovely yeah, so it is exactly like when you pan your reverb opposite of a guitar to give it that space. Like, perfect example, Van Halen 1. That album has guitar on the left, echo on the right. Go and listen to that album at some point, and you'll realise there's only one guitar, but it's hard panned, and the reverb is hard panned the other side, and it makes it sound huge. You can do the same kind of trick with drum overheads and rooms. Right. You hear how the bottom string already isn't as bright as it was before. Time is of the essence with these Pro Steels because they are some of the brightest sounding strings you can get, but yeah, they do have a limited shelf life when you're trying to go for super bright. So what I'm thinking now is I've got in my mind a structure for the song, which is the chorus first time round is going to be in A flat. But then second time we hear the chorus, it's going to be in E flat. And then third time we hear the chorus near the end, it's going to be in B flat. And maybe resolve it to E. Whenever I say E or B or A in this case, because I'm down tuned half a step, I just mean flat. So if I forget to say flat, that's what I mean. It's like on musical staff notation when you've got the flats in there. I've said flat now. So whenever I say any of the notes, that I mean the flat version of it. So let's try this in A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Poo Ninja, you did not see the walkthrough. We have 3 tracks here. One is DI. One is Drive, which you can't hear because of the gate. And one is Really Nasty Drive. So yes, good suggestion. Already on it, way ahead of you. And again, it sounds like this needs fattening up in the subs. It doesn't. For metal bass, you need more mids and more highs than you think you do, because once the guitars come in and cover all of that, you will absolutely find that those get swallowed. And so all you're left with is a bit of a bite in the mid and mostly low end. At which point, if the bass isn't loud enough, you just push the whole volume. That kind of sorts it. So yes. Good idea. Already there. Now, so we went... Because that sounds like it should go. And resolve up to E, which is why I'm not going to. Hello, Mike in chat. On your phone, it always needs more bass. Yes, well, that is going to happen on the moon. So, yeah, okay. What, John Brown needs a flat dadgad? He has a flat dadgad, but it's a 7-string flat dadgad, which he calls the Baghdad tuning, which is funny. Hello. So yes, because I hang around with John quite a lot. He's actually got the tunings of his guitars written in Sharpie on Dayglow tape on the heads of his touring guitars, so I can see very quickly what tunings he's using. So his main 2 are standard dadgad and a 7-string variant of the same down in B flat, which is why I am in B flat. D, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And again. I'm going to be playing crossbar here, so this is going to do my head in a bit. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. I almost had to ignore the timing then, because if that was right, I'm planning on the last bar being straight for. Brushing. Long walk from the other side of the house after the haircut, yeah. Right, so I'm going to try that again. I'm going to put myself a little marker in here to give myself a bar. And put the time signature in a 4 here. So this needs not to be looped, so I need to untick loop source in properties to make it longer. B, 3, 4, da, da, da. There it is. So that's going to be da 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 da. Nice, easy. Da 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 da. 8. Draw a line. Okay, so the video on the upper left is Desert Bus for Hope. That is a charity event that is going on right now. I have no idea what that garbled mess is that's going on. But that is a charity that happens every year that supports Child's Play for charity. And is something that is very important to me. So I thought it was worth having up on the stream here. Where's my... Yeah, there we go. Just going to copy these. So these need to be a different velocity. Da, 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 da. And yeah, that's happening right now. That is live on twitch.tv/desertbus. And it looks like they're doing theatrical performances, but it goes for 7 straight days. There we go. And yes, it's 7 straight days of playing the worst game in the world whilst entertaining the crowd, literally 24 hours a day. It's like the Le Mans of comedy. And yeah, I like it very much and I've supported it every year. I'm actually not wearing a Desert Bus t-shirt right now, but every other stream I've done this week I have been doing. Let's see how this sounds. Right, so we've got 1 bar of intro and then a 4-time round chorus. Let's see what we get. Right, let's try it. So it should be simple enough. Hoover's on. So it should be a... So it's 8, 6, 7 in theory language. Ziltoid should be holding a sign that says no lives matter. Well, that sounds like Ziltoid. Well, Ziltoid lives matter. That's what he would say. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, nice and clean. Come on, Steel, you can do this. Clean, come on. That's the aim of the game. Start on a good, clean note. Come on. No, alt. Come on. Okay. Yeah, no, this is a Devin Townsend t-shirt for Ziltoid the Omniscient in support of all the crew and cast because of the things that have happened to the touring industry. Right, let's see if I got that clean. Rushed it. Turn snap off, moving over. Come on. Okay, so that sounds like a reasonable chorus one. Yeah, Devin got absolutely hammered during the cancelling his tour, which is a real shame. Ivy's not sleeping, so she's bashing away like Bob the Builder. Yeah, to get the... Okay. Oh dear, sounds like she's hurt herself. Back in a minute, everybody. I am back. Ivy is fine. Everyone is fine. Oh, right. Okay. Carry on. She was refusing to sleep, so she knocked a practice amp over onto her foot and then proceeded to complain about it at volume. She's okay. Right, so here's the plan. Copy all that over. Including time, including measures. 15 for and 4 for there. That's the point. I never enabled the metronome for you guys, but since the drums are going full blast, it's not too bad. Right. It's actually going sharp as I play, which is bizarre. Yeah, when I say she dropped it on her foot, it's this little thing, so it just kind of went, but you know what practice amps are like, they're not big. We just keep it near a bedroom to stop her getting in the closet where all the towels are. But of course she's now big and strong enough to just go rah. Doesn't realise her own strength and then bop on the foot. Shock, upset, 2-year-old. So, yes. So let's let's change that to yes, this is going to get really... It's technically quite simple, but also musically quite clever. I'm liking this. So 3, 4, and a 5, and a 6, and a 7, and a... That's where I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got a bit too much swagger. You don't practice the 5150? I practice with a JCM 800 and a dual rectifier, but the little Vox modeling practice amp belongs to my other half. So, yes, it's not been used in a long time, but it's there. Oh, I've just found a newer, slightly stiffer pick in my pick holder. So I'm writing chorus 2 now, which is going down from A to E. Which actually borrows from a riff I already made and submitted, but whole new bass, whole new tone. So let's get this recorded in. It is a bit spidery. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I keep going crossbar there. It's a cool thing, but it doesn't work. 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Three and a 4 and a 5, 6, 7, 8 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Rushing and a 3 and yeah, I'll slide up like that. 2 and gotta be cleaner than that. Dropping down to that B string, especially with this much gain, I've got to be careful that I deaden the other strings properly. That might be it. No, I'll just hammer it a bit so that I definitely clean it up. 3 and a 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woo! Oh, messy. Okay. Again, the whole thing is rushing, but if we can fix that, we're good. can hear myself catching other strings. Getting there. One more, I think we'll have it. Just going to turn the bass up by a couple of dB, just because then I can pick it out better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, missed it. 3 and a 4, 5, 6, 7, and. Better. Let's do a third take and we'll patch it between the three. Oh, they're watching Papers, Please. That's all over the show. Right, I fluffed up the ending, but that might be enough. So I'm pretty sure that from there, take 2 was the one. That sounded nice and clear from there. So that bit wasn't great. Right, so that whole thing is just early, but otherwise seems okay. Just push it all back and have a listen. Them all back together. from there, I was ahead, really ahead. And I was back in there. So let's push all of this. Move this start of it back. Multi. That's all a bit late now, so that needs to go back a twitch. Okay, so that's chorus 2. I think that is in the bag. So marker chorus 2. Chorus 2. Yeah. I am just going to drop in the lower thing there. Get this pretty much as on the mark as I can without snap. Back that way a bit. Just neaten that together. And bring these back so they join. A bit less of a crossfade there because that could be bad. Yeah, nope, start again because it's got a flub at the start. That will not do. Good timing, come on. Why is that one crossing with the others and those aren't? Not that it matters. Come on, let's delete them. Move this so you can all see it. And push it back. Back a little. Let's just get rid of that gach. This isn't a Klingon show after all. There's no gach here. I mean, there's a takeaway around the corner that does a special. It's pretty much gach, but... Okay. And now chorus 3, which is, of course, the same thing again in B flat. Helps when you put the right time sigs in. 15 there. 4 goes here. Ha 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 ha. Dirt. YouTube's been weird. It's like concurrent viewers 18, 0, 20, 0, 3, 0. It's like the Windows bar. It's useless. Big stretch. There we go. Big stretch helps. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that was terrible, but I think I've got the idea. No. Ruben Garcia, are you offering any classes during or after the holidays? Classes, you'll have to elaborate. What do you mean by classes? I've got my classes on Pro Mix Academy, which are always available. If someone would drop them in the chat, please. They're always there. Including the brand new one, Understanding EQ, Compression and Delay Reverb. I do one-on-one sessions, but you have to book them in advance. But honestly, if you're asking, there's a good chance you're better off watching the structured courses first, because otherwise I would be charging you a rather high hourly rate to tell you what I could have already told you in a single bundle. Because most of the time, well, the reason that I make these courses is that I get asked, or have been asked over many years, all sorts of questions, and I've just put them down, structured them, made a set of tutorials about what I've been asked. So yeah, the aim is for me to be able to teach many people at once rather than one at a time. Which, of course, I can do one-to-one lessons, and I have a couple of clients who I do that for. But generally speaking, I try and get people to use the courses wherever possible, because then you can use them on your own time for as long as you need. Repeat. Go to separate sections, and so can everybody else. You know, it's an efficiency thing. Okay. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's a horrible. Just turns to a mush at that speed. Missed it because of the drop beat. Let's just see if that got it. That'll, as usual, need pushing back by a few milliseconds. Yeah, that is nice. And also the thing now is that if I want to do any real like heavy EQing or anything, I can do that on the whole bass group. Like, I can see what Poo Ninja meant about low end being a little bit soft. But now I can use any variety of EQs. Let's go with Virtual Mix Rack and start with, when it eventually loads up, of course. Blur, blur, blur. The CS Lift. Also, just because we're here, I'm going to put the mix bus on there. And those two together with the big profile turned up here. That might be it. That might be all we need. Just a bit of presence, bit of bigness, which is kind of a parallel tube BQ style thing. Let's try that in the mix. Ooh. Yes. Ooh, James Riley. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mike's videos are good. I see a rising star in the Reaper community. Right, so I've got 3 choruses now, which is very cool. Let's listen to the one that's in A. Now the one that's in E. Oh, I rushed it there. Now that I've brightened it up, I can really hear it. So I'm going to push that back, dovetail them together. And now for the one in B. Yeah. That's what was doing it. The overload function in Wall of Sound really helps to bring something to life. But when you're paralleling 3 tracks, it seems to screw with it a bit. Cool. The kick drum sounds really punchy, but doesn't have too much low end on the main VSX systems I'm monitoring on. But on the car system and the headphones, it's got plenty of low end weight. So I won't be streaming for more than probably another hour tops here. But Mike from Let's Talk About Reaper will be. So join him on his stream and avoid my mess of the situation here. Let's turn these back on. I reckon if you know what you're doing with mixing, Superior Drummer 3 is well worth it. I mean, everything sounds huge. I think I am just gonna extend my offset on the kick there, but I can do things like I've got everything going in a mixer here, super like multi-banded, and I'm not actually using that much in terms of EQ and that kind of thing in Superior because that's not my style, but having the unprocessed drums means that I can have things like the Brainworks BX console on every channel and mold every channel exactly to my will. And also I've got like 7 gigabytes worth of bleed going on. This is my kick, snare and tom mics. So you hear all that cymbal bleed, yep. And then this is my hi-hats. There's no hi-hat going right now, that's all bleed. That's not with the overhead or room on. And here's the overheads in ambience. And so when you build it all together, sounds huge. So, yes. I'm using mostly the Darkness drum kit with the snare from Death, the Tama Bell Brass. One of these days, I shall hopefully own a Tama Bell Brass, and I will be very, very happy. And then I'll be able to take it to other studios and record it and go, quah! Because the Black Beauty's nice. The Bell Brass cuts through like a knife. Let's see. So it was originally a Mapex Black Panther, which I don't like at all. Yeah, it has Easy Drummer has multi-track out, but that doesn't matter. All the drums are already processed. User instruments. How did I do this before? Add center. Oh no. Undo change instrument. There we go. DW, I mean, a lot of it to me is not about whether it's Superior or Easy Drummer. It's I want unmixed drums so I can mix it my way. And I also very much want a choice of drums that I know, rather than kind of, oh, this guy used this really weird thing you've never heard of. Nah. Yamaha Recording Custom, DW Collector's Editions, Tama Bell Brass, and Peisty 15-inch hats, because I love 15-inch hats, and just Peisty pretty much all around, apart from Istanbul there. And there's this weird string sight ride, but I can swap that for the Peisty. But I do find that Peisty rides are a little too lively in a big room. And this one just sounds perfect, so I'm done. So yeah, da-da! Oh yeah, you can absolutely use Easy Drummer stuff inside Superior. It's the same company. It's just drop-in. Yeah, and if it's all legit and you've not got it through some weird, dodgy back-end site place, I'm not saying you have, but just in case. If you've got it all legitimately, you go through the TuneTrack product manager, you update them all with a click of a button, and you go. Splaying. So so where does that go? Yeah, so I'll do that here, because that very much matches the style we had earlier, but just in a different key, which was that. Wait a minute, wait a second. This bit that's 6/4. I'm just gonna move that over. Just left a string ring in, otherwise that would have been spot on. Didn't catch a note. No. There. Feel myself rushing. Shut up! No, let's record it again. It's not right. Okay. That's all right. 5, 6, 7. Gretsch snare drums in the library. No idea. Let's have a look. No Gretsch there. You can actually search. So let's search specifically. Gretsch. There's a Gretsch solid aluminium. What? In the default Superior library. Yeah, Gretsch sounds nice when you're playing like jazz or something, but I tend to find that in a room with a rock mix, when it actually matters, it doesn't have the oomph that you need. Nah, too angry. Clean. Shoot back there, hair. I'm going to leave that in as 6. Right, so that's a gap that goes to there. So I'm starting to get a little bit of a structure now. So chorus 1 goes, oh, no, don't do this without safety, people. Snapping to the bar is important. So that should be 15-4 there. And that should be 4-4 there. This should be 15-4. And that's where it should be 4. What came up then? What was that? Age of Empires. So that's the end of chorus 1. Right, so that's where it should go to 6. So that should be in 7. I should really be moving the tempo map around with this. Put you on the 7. There we go. Set time signature. I'm being a little bit lazy with this, I must admit. I thought something sounded weird. Yes. So let's just remove these 2 bars. And that was a little piece of magic there. I can actually remove an entire bar with a shortcut I added, which is, there's a, where is it? There's remove contents of selection, moving later items. And I added a shortcut to that, which is Alt and Z. Which, because I do a lot of dialogue editing, can be really useful to have to hand. So I can, yeah, so I've added an extra little thing in here. Because the first time round of that, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be there. That 4-4 should be there. That's got a stunk at the end. Okay. So these don't actually go together yet, and this is where the questions are going to come up. Because right now, I've got kind of a pre-chorus that has a little turn into the chorus, a pre-chorus that has another different turn, because where the other one had a 4 gap, this one's got a 6 gap, but with the drums doing something interesting. And then there's the third chorus. Which could go straight after the second chorus, but I probably want to expand the song out a bit more at that point. I am not on the setup with the Radar card. I am at home. I am on the Audient Evo 8. The Radar setup is at the studio. I am under national lockdown until the end of this month. So I have taken a few things from the studio, including my JCM 800, my dual rectifier, and my baseboard, which if you didn't catch the start of the stream, you should nip back and watch that because it's a pretty clever setup with the triple inputs, with the clean DI and the 2 notes of bass for the chunk and the metal zone for the top end grind. Yes, a genuine metal zone, ladies and gentlemen, actually being used in useful service. Actually, 256 on a Radar card would be significantly better than it is here. Most of the problem with USB is actually USB overhead. Generally, forget the number of samples. It's only partially relevant. The number of samples tells you something, but not everything. It doesn't tell you the rest of the latency for the buffering. So there's quite a delay on the chat saying what doesn't help. Be more specific, so that 60 seconds later when the conversation's gone, I still know what you're talking about. That was the end of the wine that started to oxidize a little bit. But yeah, including this gap here, how long is this? This is 2 minutes 24, so this is not a full song yet. But I feel like we're getting there. That digga down is pushed and I can hear it and it annoys me. So let's push that back. Absolutely nothing wrong with the metal zone if used in proper context with hazmat material and sanitizer and proper disposal equipment, and you don't mind working with hazardous materials. I can hear in my head, and Right, so I've got all this here to play with. So I'm going to use this MIDI loop and change it to be backwards. Dabba, dabba, dabba. Bum, dabba. Dabba, dabba, dabba. Dabba. Tick, tick. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, when it comes to the mix stage, I can always sweeten those drums a little bit, but I like to start from a big but fairly neutral position because that, you know, I could massively exaggerate it. I don't like doing that. I mean, like I say, you can have a kick with boom, boom on it, but as soon as you start doing something like this, that's as much resonance on the low end as I can afford to have when I'm going brr, brr, because if I do anything more than that, that's going to sing is how I describe it, where it starts going boong, 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 and because there are no gaps, there's no if there's no gaps, then there's no chance for, you know, there's no chance for if there's no chance for gaps, there's no chance for it to feel like a machine gun. Ooh. I just got a very interesting email, which I just need very quickly to jump on something on here so I can show it to you. Not show you the email, but show you something related. And that is come on. We were talking about courses earlier somewhere. Where are you? Oh, it's not there yet, but there is going to be a Pro Mix Academy Insanity sale. Which is going to have loads of stuff. The Everything Bundle, the Ultimate Guide to Reaper, is going to have a sale, of course. Yeah, so that's on there, which is great. Yeah, so sorry about that. I got distracted for a minute. Desert Bus went up 300k. Yes, Desert Bus is chugging along nicely. And yeah, that means that they're now driving for 160-ish hours total, non-stop. But yes, my my lovely Reaper course is going to be part of the Black Friday sale. And so let's just check the tuning one more time. Yeah. Joe, I wouldn't worry. I don't think that the sale is going to be much more than it already has been. It's more of an attention grabber for me, but from the, like, there's the Everything Pro Mix Academy bundle, which definitely didn't exist up until just now. So if you were planning on buying every course they do, which is significantly more money, I would get some of that money, but yeah, so would everybody else. Now, right, let's record some bass to a gallop. This is kind of the intro. Right, I need this to be a bit mad, but... Oh, you bought all of mine. Well, much appreciated. That's awesome to hear. That's very, very good. Now, I need to not just stick to the pentatonic here, which is the worst default, is that... Yeah, so I'm going to go from open... Yeah, let's try that. I think I'm getting it. I'm feeling a little bit like Metallica Holier Than Thou. But with extra drive. One, two, three. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Don't rush it. 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, let's see how that went, because it felt a little bit dirty. Ugh. So if I just chop that there and see if this works. Because I can always like epic intro into this thing. And snappity snap it over to. Right, so that's a whiplash of a shift there. Oh, I'm still on triplets. Did dum. Let's just delete a load of this. It's got a bit of an Alice in Chains feel right now, but you wait till Brown gets his hands on it. It'll be a very different beast. And yeah, I know I usually would put drums before bass, but in this case, because of what I'm writing, it means I can see everything on the same screen, and so can you. So I think I'm going to call it there for this stream. I'm going to show John what I've got. And if he thinks there's any merit to it, I'll carry on or flesh it out into a full structure. Start adding synths and things. But yeah, that was a good 3+ hours. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential here, even if it gets tweaked and tweaked and tweaked until it is nothing like it was originally. I now have a thing that I can show people and go, what do you think? Because yeah, I certainly don't consider myself a good enough guitarist to play what I've got in mind to go over this. But yeah, I talked to John and said, hey, if I do some stuff like this and you like it, do you want to work with stuff on it? And he went, yeah, all right. No promises, but yeah. Oh, I'm going to put this down. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been a lot of fun today. I'm going to move this up the end of the stream. And yeah, back to work technically tomorrow, even though it's still my holiday week. I've not really had a holiday week. I've just had a new keyboard arrive from Arturia. I'm going to put out the October unboxing soon if I haven't already, because I need to film a November unboxing. I now have a stack of Zilla cabs taller than me that need unboxing, and an Arturia box that weighs more than me, 2 power amps, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's not for anything in particular. It's just this was me getting a great bass tone, kind of showing you how to do it, and having something to present to a friend of mine to say, hey, what do you think? And yeah, go from there. So this was more of a chill out stream, but as you are probably aware at this point, if there's something I'm doing musically, I may as well stream it, rather than just keep to myself, unless it's something that's under NDA. So yeah, quite often you'll just see me do streams like this. And so I hope you found this interesting, because it's been quite a fun one. And like I've said before, having someone watching me makes me work a lot more efficiently, because it's like having someone, cracking the whip. It's like, come on, get on with it. But yeah, it's gone 10 o'clock at night now, and my head is starting to go. So that is it for tonight. But thank you, everybody. And thank you, everybody who's been supporting us on Patreon. We've had some more recent supporters. I know that one of the Davids has returned as a patron. Thank you again. And yeah, it really, really helps us. So yeah, it's been a fun night off with a glass of wine. So thank you, everybody. And I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in the podcast tomorrow. Bye. Hey everyone, that might be the end of the video, but if you fancy carrying on this conversation, we have a Discord server. Link is in the description. We're also on Patreon, which is something you can really help us with. We also are on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Hop Hole Studios. See you there.